Assalamu alaikum, you guys. What's popping? I have a very exciting new video, and it's about the 10 things or 11 things, depending on how generous I'm feeling, of people with high self esteem and self respect. People claim to have high self esteem. I'm gonna be all badass and call BS on that because a lot of you girls do not have high self esteem. You do not have self respect, and it shows out, especially say no to someone that you like, or you have these boundaries and these rules that you set up for your life, and then someone comes along and then you bend them, you flex them, you make them into jelly. What was strong as a rock, you've now made into something that is like jelly and fluid like water. So how strong are your boundaries, people, and how do you know if you have self-respect? Let's find out. Number one, you will not allow people to dismiss your feelings. You will stand up for your feelings and you will know that your feelings are valid. If someone tells you, you had a nightmare, so what? It's okay. Oh, you're feeling pain, don't worry, you'll get over it. But no, I'm in pain. Are you listening to me? Do you hear me? You will stop that in its tracks and make sure that person hears you, and I mean really listens to you and pays attention to your feelings instead of just going ignoring you and treating you like you don't matter, or like what you say doesn't matter and you're not important. People with self-respect do not put up with that. Number two, people with self-respect and high self-esteem will take care of their bodies. They will take care of their health, they will take care of their mind, and they will take care of everything that they feed into their body by means of brain food, i.e. what books you read, by means of health foods, what you actually, your diet, what you actually put into your body through your mouth and ingest, or whether it's going to be good for you, bad for you, junk food, emotional good food, which is taking the right halal emotional food from the right people, not from people who are haram for you, or social media attention whoring. No one who has high self-esteem will abuse their own bodies or allow their bodies to be abused. Now, once people see you treating yourself with abuse, once people see you not taking care of your body, once people see you disrespecting yourself, you are then setting a precedent for other people to do the same, because you train people and you teach people how you should be treated. So just remember that. Are you setting an example for how others should treat you? Because whether you like it or not, you are. People who have high self-esteem and high self-respect take care of their self-image, how they come across, how they appear, how people perceive them, to a degree. There is a degree of don't DGAF, but there's a healthy dose of I do care because I want to be a healthy, contributing member of society, and I want people to like me so we can get along, so we can get business done, so we can have healthy relationships, colleagues, friendships, business partnerships, whatnot. So although people who have high self-respect and high self-esteem may not always dress and look like A-listers, generally a few rules apply. They always look clean, neat, and tidy. They always smell good, and their clothes and appearance is clean, neat, and tidy. So long as they look presentable. Now, as I mentioned, those are the basics of being presentable. Your hair is not shoddy, not out of place, you're kempt, you're taken care of, you're manicured. Not necessarily, that's a bit of a tall order, especially for moms, but you get my point. The fourth example of high self-esteem and high self-respect is not tolerating bad treatment or flakiness. Being stood up, being ignored, being dissed. People who have high self-respect and high self-esteem will never go back to the person that did that to them unless they really are made to apologize and pay for it. People who have high self-respect will not tolerate being treated like crap, and those people that treated them like crap just merely getting away with it and ignoring them and not saying anything. Maybe once or twice, but not in a general sense, and definitely not when it comes to romantic relationships, egging towards nikah. Ladies who tolerate this, you're setting yourself up for a precedent of disrespect. So I tell you now, do not put up with flakiness, douchebaggery in all shapes and sorts and types, flakiness, being stood up, being ignored. Okay? Now, again, on the being ignored part, if someone does not answer your call for a while, give it a day maximum. If they still do not, you're being ignored. But don't overreact if you haven't gotten a reply 5 minutes after sending your text. That's just basic biatch behavior. Okay, people of high self-respect have strong and healthy boundaries. How do they have these boundaries? Like you have a home and you have boundary walls. You know which is your neighbor's house, you know which is your house. This is what having a boundary is. Now, in your own personal life, emotionally, you need to have boundaries. You need to set a limit to what people are allowed to do. For example, no more phone calls will be accepted after 10 p.m. or after 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. That is a boundary. Having strong rules. But if you have these strong rules, A, you need to make sure you do not bend them for anybody at all. And B, you need to make sure that they know that you have these rules so they don't take you for granted and try it with you. Number 6, people who have a high sense of self-worth, they respect other people the way they want to be respected. They respect the old, they respect the young, they respect the rich, they respect the poor, they respect public servants such as street sweepers, garbage collectors, even beggars on the street and domestic workers. It really is a telling sign when a person who is wealthy, famous, full of status, or not even all of that, but just someone just slightly above the norm in society, or even the norm in society, showing respect to those lesser than them. When you see a person showing respect to people who they absolutely do not need and do not think anything of in terms of status wise, like a street sweeper or a beggar, and that person has respect for that person, that is a gem. Pay attention to that person because they know how to treat people. Number 7, a sign of a person who has a healthy sense of self-worth is that they stand firm by their decisions. They make decisions, they trust and respect their beliefs and their convictions, and they won't let anyone throw them off or dismiss them. So if someone says, "Oh, what you believe is stupid," and you be like, "Well, that's your opinion. Maybe what I believe is stupid to you, but it's definitely not stupid to me." So you need to stand up for yourself. You need to have conviction. You need to stand your ground and stand firm by your decision. If you say, "I will not accept calls after 8 p.m., don't accept calls after 8 p.m., people.
He's like, what are you thinking accepting calls after 8 p.m.? You made the rule. You stick by it.
Now, if you do accept calls after 8 p.m., darlings, what do you think is going to happen? Those people, those mofos are going to keep calling you and pressing your buttons and try to get you to bend and flex more because people will pull you like an elastic band as far as you can stretch. Make sure you can't stretch, or not that far anyway. Let them know what your boundaries are so they do not trespass, contradict, and oppress you. People with a high sense of self-worth keep their word and their time. I cannot stress this enough because if you just have a few solid work ethics, personal ethics, and they do transfer. For example, if I say I'm not going to be late to work, it means I'm not going to be late to anything. And that's how you should be. And if you have self-respect, you'll respect other people's time the way you respect your own. You won't be late for them and make them wait for you because you are now dismissing their time and making them look like they're not important. No, their time matters. Your time matters. So treat them like they matter as well. And hopefully they will treat you like you matter too. Another trait of people with high self-esteem and high respect, self-respect for themselves. I keep saying high, but it's just basic stuff here. They don't speak and laugh excessively and just be a living protoplasm of verbal diarrhea. So a person who has self-respect, they'll speak if they need to speak. I mean, if they're giving a lecture or a talk or they're having a discourse which is really deep and therapeutic and beneficial, they're going to talk a lot, definitely. But it's what they're saying that matters. And if a person just continuously cracks stupid jokes and lame, dry, boring ass jokes and laughs and laughs and laughs all the time without having a moment to be contemplative and, retreat to themselves and think deeply and ponder upon life, I want you to think of words as currency, people. When you're opening your mouth to speak, are you dropping dimes or dropping droppings? Just think about that for a second. Okay? Don't cast your pearls before swine, and don't be a swine.
What, are you retarded?
Limit the bakwassery, people. No one respects a person who can't keep their mouth shut.
10. Ashara. They do not run or chase after people for company, for stuff, for things, for time. They make their feelings known and then they leave. And they do their own thing. They do not consistently beg people to validate them or to show approval to them or to lick their wounds and pacify them and make them feel like they're okay all the time and reassure them and reaffirm them. For people who crave constant praise and recognition, this is a sign that they don't really have much faith in themselves and that they don't have sufficient self-respect or a high level of self-esteem. So guys, that is all from me. I hope you enjoyed it. I love you. Please up your self-esteem and your self-game and your A-game and your up your self-esteem levels, up your self-respect. These are a few ways in which you can inculcate in your life how to do this going forward. And I wish you all the best of luck and the best of love and du'as. Mwah.